Hey folks, this is gonna be shocking, but there's not gonna be any spheres. I know, I know. It's strange. I know it is. It's odd. But we're gonna go slam straight into anatomy. Today was another mixture of feelings towards anatomy. As you can see from here. Still trying to draw in pen. Still trying to get things to work. I've done about 30 pages of anatomy scribbles, as I would call them. I've looked at a few anatomy lessons. Um, I've been trying to do in such a way that I don't just use reference and copy directly from it. I've been trying to, as I go, if I get stuck on something, like for instance the hip on the character here, I used some reference and some photos to figure out just how the skin folds from the waist into the legs, and the groin area, um, and just trying to incrementally improve while doing that well. So doing the majority, um, off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, today was another. Yeah, it was another mixture. These were, as you can see, this a lot of them didn't come out particularly well. I think I'm having an issue where I tend to be leaning a little bit too hard on the pen and committing too much to lines, when I really need to start trying to relax about it, even after practice, even after trying to warm up with, my usual circles and curves and lines and all this sort of stuff. Um, I seem to be just almost choking the pen. You know, I don't know if you guys were ever taught this in school, but when you're learning to write, the teacher would always say, "Now, don't hold the pen or the pencil too tight." You know, or I teach fencing, so it's like holding a rapier or a side sword and being like, okay, well, you need to hold it like a bird. You don't want to squeeze it too tight, but you don't want to have it too loose that it can fly away, kind of thing. But yeah, no, today's anatomy practice was just, yeah, just it's still I can pump out the basic generic form, but it just doesn't look like it's progressed from the last few days. If anything, it looks kind of worse today, being honest with you. But it still looks like a human being, so that's a win. um, and then we have this final picture, which, yeah, again, I'm manipulating the angle of the body and trying to get different poses and understand how different poses work. Um, it's just human anatomy is just it's difficult. It's really difficult. Um, yeah, it's just gonna take a very long time to get this stuff really cemented, um, into it. I think this image predominantly has issues because I tried to go into detail with it, which I shouldn't be doing. I've got no. It's like lifting weights. I mean, if you can't do a press up, you've got no business lifting any other form of weight. At least that's how I was trained. Um, so I've got no business adding detail to a character right now. I need to stick to just the bare bones dummy. Add in some gesture drawing and you know uh, do my time before trying to rush too far ahead, which is what I think I'm tripping myself up with a lot. Um, Moving on to this page. This page came out well. And this is kind of the annoying thing about it. Like I look at the top of this image. You got the guy smoking in the background. Forget about that guy. But the legs on the kind of poof or the box, they came out well. I've never drawn trousers before or shoes, and it just came out. Now whether it's a fluke or not, I don't know. But I was relaxed when I was doing it. I didn't think too much about it, and I'm starting to really suspect that when I'm really thinking about something, it just doesn't turn out particularly well. But when as soon as I just don't care and stop really kind of trying to get it right, um, things just seem to flow a lot easier. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think maybe it's just an experience thing. Maybe it's just I haven't done the time really. Um, but yeah, it just takes. It's gonna take a lot more time for me to figure this stuff out. I think. But I think overthinking it is definitely an aspect that is punishing me at the moment, and moving too far ahead too quickly. I think that's also another thing that's gonna take a little bit of um, a little bit of effort as well, is trying to prevent myself from trying to make content that's gonna be a bit interesting, because I understand that a lot of this stuff is gonna be, oh look, you drew the same thing again, but that's it's practice, man, and it's daily updates, so I can't really avoid it, but I'm definitely gonna try and get some interesting drawings in for you guys as well to keep this interesting, and hopefully my perspective on this journey will add a little bit of interest into it as well. Um, the box, the chest, I think came out well. The evolution of the mimic, or the luggage, is coming on. I think this is the next stage in the evolution. He now has a tongue. I think it's an important day for him, and I'm going to coin him as Bob the luggage. And then in the bottom right hand corner of this one, I drew an eye for the first time, and it actually came out pretty well. I like it. Again, it's a very confusing page for me personally, because it's just a lot of things I haven't drawn before and they came out well, and then things I've been drawing kind of consistently over the last 9 days, except for Sundays, of course. Haven't. Yeah, it's a strange one. I don't understand it. But I just need to keep hammering it out. I think the fundamentals are starting to get a little bit better. I think I'm implementing them better, naturally, which is nice. And that kind of leads me on to my final image of the day, which was this attempt at a building and a kind of like an Osprey troop transport landed outside. Again, my perspective is kind of all over the place. But as it's probably my third attempt at drawing a kind of proper building. It's not too bad. Like trying to figure out the adding slight details to like the windowsills and trying to give it a little bit of flavor, but also keeping it kind of simplistic. I mean, the majority of this stuff they're just boxes, and then trying to do some interesting shapes with, say, the chimney stack, but then losing an awful lot of the proportion as well, because even the 7 on the side of the building, it just throws off the scale a lot. Yeah, it's the more I look at it, the more I'm kind of like there's issues, but I can see the issues, which is good. That's the one thing I need to keep in mind, is the fact I can see the issues means I can address them, and hopefully fix them. But yeah, the aircraft actually is the first time I've ever tried to draw an aircraft, which I don't think came out too badly, especially the fact that it's a kind of an angled top-down perspective. I think that came out fairly decently, without any reference as well, which I guess, and that's another thing I need to kind of keep in mind, is that I did do this without any reference, which, again, it's not that impressive. There's so many people that could knock this out of the park and make it look absolutely amazing, but it's day 9 of the learning curve. Another thing I don't like about this is the curb, how the curb is shaded in black, but it's quite obviously quite a large curb. I think the path around the outside is really what's throwing a lot of this off. Like, if you want it to be like that curb is huge. I mean, seriously huge. But again, it's getting there. I just need to spend more time on these basics and not rush it too much. And I'm going for a kind of a cartoony, comic booky style. So I'm not looking for hyper realistic art. Not to say that there's any less difficulty or inherent skill within producing comic art to uh, like photorealism or fine art, for instance. I think they've got skill sets that are leaning in different aspects of the art umbrella that are equally as difficult. I mean, comic art is just insane. You need to essentially learn how to draw everything. Um, but yeah, it's what I'm pursuing. So we'll see how it goes. But so far so good. I think I feel good about it. Why not? Let's be optimistic. So guys, that's it for today's update, and thank you very much for watching. If you like it, subscribe, like, share, or just chill and have a good day and have a better tomorrow, and just yeah, have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.